Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1521 of our daily content grind. It is Monday. It is time for a news roundup. We do have a good bit of news to get through, including a few surprises I was not expecting, like a second round to Stranger Things for Transformers Collab. So our top story for the week, yeah, we got a new collab on the way. So this is Frequency, spelled very strangely in order to get it to pass trademark, with a mini companion that is I've seen as named as both in tracks and 8 tracks. I don't think 8 tracks is correct. It says in tracks on the box, and it says it in a really weird way. We'll get to that in a bit. But just to start off with, he looks good. He actually looks really, really good. He looks like a really good, just normal, straight up Transformer toy. Like, he just looks like a really good, solid Transformer, just completely aside from the Stranger Things part. So, like, I've talked about this before with, like, Code Red. Code Red was fine. Code Red is okay, but I do think that toy was overhyped for what it was, for me as someone who's not a Stranger Things fan. I thought the look of the toy was just all right. It was okay. It had, like, some proportion issues I didn't like, and I wasn't a fan of the colors. I like the colors here. I like the bright red helmet to stand out, kind of works for me. I like the mix of the white, the gray, and that palish blue, which is a unique color. You don't see that, like, faded blue very often in Transformers. Also, it has a chicken gun. It has a chicken gun. Yeah, so Frequency and in tracks, and in being, like, smaller than the rest of the name, which is weird. Very weird. Also, massive waste of space with this package. You could fit 4 of these things. You could fit 4 of this figure in there. I don't like these big waste of space packages, even if it is getting in the radio station reference. But no, the toy does look really, really good. I like the front end becoming the shoulders. That's a unique element. They don't do that often. Someone customized me like a clench out of this, please. But no, he has a Soundwave style gimmick because this is all radio station based. He's got, you know, the gut. He's got his like little companion piece, which is an 8-track. Okay. Children out there, 8 tracks came before cassettes, which came before CDs, which is what we used instead of MP3s for physical media. 8 tracks were terrible because you couldn't rewind them. You played them all the way through, you took them out, you flipped them over, you put them back in, you play the other side of the cassette, and then it's back to the front. So you could only listen to it in order. Let's keep in mind, I am not old enough to have ever personally experienced 8 tracks, but I know my history. So yeah, it's a interesting thing to kind of throw in here. Still, I just really like the overall look of this thing. Also, yeah, normal van, and good looking 80s van. We get van Transformers a lot. A lot of times they just end up being vanettes or like SUVs. This is just a proper van. It's a very rare proper van in Transformers. I love the look of it. Yes, it comes with a rubber chicken that turns into a gun. And there's the very Laserbeak looking in tracks. This kind of proves that like an Earth mode Soundwave as kind of like a as a radar truck, is like a broadcast truck, would absolutely work. And I would love to have seen this. I would love for this to be like a weird way of like working in a new style of Soundwave. It's cool. I like this one a lot. I'd probably get this one, Stranger Things fan or not. So that was the most interesting thing to drop this week, but we do have plenty more for you. So for instance, we have more in-hand shots of Thundercracker, the new Studio Series mold that we're all excited for. This comes from a toy thief who we won't acknowledge, but you will know which one because it's the only one dumb enough to add all of this CGI stuff to his toy shots, because this just obscures the photo of what you're trying to take. It doesn't look cool. It doesn't look cool. It looks slop. You know, just take good pictures of your toys. No, do you really think that like Megatron is like holding on to Thundercracker like this while doing little stompies with his feet. He only gets that excited when he's beating up Starscream. Also, your explosion effect is clipping through his cannon barrel. Like, seriously, dude. Just be professional. I'm begging you. The Thundercracker does look really nice. Now, we've taken plenty of looks at this Thundercracker at this point. We pretty much know it is a fantastic upgrade of the Voyager class toy. And and just like, yeah, like, it's going to be great having a whole collection of these things. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Interesting that the nose cone can actually end up where it was in classics or can fold away. That's a interesting little switch up. And there's where the tail fins can plug in if you want them to part form. You don't have to, but it's an option to make it look more screen accurate. The important thing here, oh, the wingtips come off too. Okay. This concerned me a little bit because it actually looks like these might be translucent plastic completely painted over blue, which is a little bit nervous to me because like there's no clear plastic in anywhere else. There's the orange, there's translucent orange, but this is completely clear. Why? Why did you do that? Why did you use clear plastic on something that didn't need it to be? At the very least, I'm not worried about it breaking since it's not a hinge or a ball socket or anything. All that is beside the point. Like I said, we've had plenty of looks at this toy before. It does look like an absolutely fantastic toy. There's only one shot in this I'm really, really concerned with, which is size comparisons. He is about the right size, a little bit shorter than your Megatron and your Optimus Prime. That's correct. I liked how that looks. Still just a little bit shorter than the Soundwave. So all of this is going to scale about the way it really is supposed to. This is the shot that I am actually concerned with. So yeah, looking at it here, he is actually just a little bit taller than the Thundercracker. Not at the shoulder pylon part, not at the intake part, but at the head. At the head, he does look bigger. Some parts of him definitely look thinner. I'm actually wondering if like there is some engineering simplification going on compared to his original toy, which might be like where the budget for the height is coming in. But it's good to see that not only is this going to be like an upgrade of it engineering wise and overall like accuracy wise, it is also just going to be an upgrade as far as size as well. And when the Voyagers are going to cost so much more next year when this comes out, that's important. That's really important. Someone got their hands on a Quickstrike. I'm very, very excited to get a brand new Quickstrike in here. We'll take a quick look at this one. No extra accessories because, Quickstrike didn't need him. He was his own weapon. Looking really good. I love the articulation improvements, but it does look like the toy works pretty much like the original. I even counted the segments of the Cobra neck. Same number of segments, so it's got the same level of articulation the original one had, with no translucent plastic involved in the mix anywhere, which is a delightful upgrade for me. Yeah, posability looks great. It's got all the stuff that the original didn't have, all the details from the cartoon that the original toy didn't have. I appreciate that they tried to continue the Kingdom thing of adding in this more realistic surfacing to the parts of him that are organic. So he's like bumpy, like a scorpion shell would be. So they did try to continue that aesthetically from Kingdom. So he's going to match with the rest of those Beast Wars toys in either mode, which is really cool to see. Yeah, even like the segments of the neck are scaled for the snake. That's good. With Silverbolt, he looks proper size because he should be a good bit smaller than Silverbolt, a good smaller than the one he's seen with a lot, which was Inferno. Yeah, like there he all seems correctly sized. This is where I start to draw issue. I never liked the fact that Scorponok was so small. Like he feels like he should have been a Voyager class toy. But yeah, Quickstrike definitely should not be bigger than Scorponok. He shouldn't be as tall as Black Arachnia. He should be a little bit smaller. He should be like Deluxe Minibot size, but he doesn't have the design complexity to really justify him being any smaller as a Deluxe. So he ends up in like that weird space of like where the G1 Minibot toys are currently, where they're the size of like standard Deluxe size Transformers, even though they really shouldn't be anywhere close to that height. Just a weird world to exist in, but it is what it is at the moment. He does look fine. He does look fine. He looks really good, actually. He looks really good. I am excited for the toy. I'm excited for more Beast Wars in general. There's still gaps to fill. Get me to my Transmetals, please. We've had this discussion a lot. So, out of nowhere, there's a new release for MPG09 Super Ginrai, and it comes with a few changes to the mold that people need to be aware of. So, the big changes. We have a small Ginrai face mask that has been corrected. So, yeah, so I'm not sure what was wrong with the original, if I'm going to be honest with you, but it seems like it is fixed now, whatever that issue was. When combined, the big head's connection has been tightened, the smokestack tabs have been shortened, and a guidance piece has been added inside the trailer to make the combination smoother. That was the big thing for a lot of people, were those tabs on the smokestacks breaking during the combination, because if things are just a little bit off when you turn them into Super Ginrai, yeah, the things start snapping, which is not great. So they have fixed that, which is good to see. The small Ginrai's waist has also been tightened. A screw has been added under the head to prevent it from flying off, and the latch of the trailer door has been enlarged to make opening easier. All of that is really good. All that is really good changes. It's a lot of QC issues that have been fixed. The one thing about it that has not been fixed, which is annoying to me, the Godmaster chest is unchanged, meaning that that is still like a hair trigger for the Godmaster to pop out, which is the kind of thing I was hoping they would fix. Apparently not. Not that I'm going to rebuy it just for the sake of a few upgrades, but it's nice to know all the future ones are actually going to be looking correct. I do believe the Nucleon quest is not out yet, meaning that version of the toy should also carry through these improvements. So if you're holding out for that one, you were holding out for a good one. This got spread around everywhere. Out of nowhere, we have a reissue of Power of the Prime's Predaking, kind of in line with the reissue of the Optimus Prime that happened early this year. This one is fascinating because we've got Adamus Machina Predaking on the way. So I'm not sure if Hasbro was just poorly timing this reissue with the release of the big collector version that's coming out from Japan, or if they're providing a cheaper alternative, especially now that tariffs are making that particular version unaffordable. I will admit, I need to jump through some hoops to do it, but I'll probably end up canceling my order for it. I'm not so impressed by Adamus Machina Predaking that I'm willing to pay a huge collector price and a huge shipping cost at the same time. But either way, if you missed out on this toy, pre-orders are up. Again, I like this toy a lot more than most. I think it does some fascinating things for all the combiner parts. The only issue with this is that, yes, because of tariffs and the inflation since this toy first came out, it is now a $230 reissue, which I don't think that's unfair given the size, given the current state of things. I don't think that's an unfair price to ask for it. It does suck that it's not the original like the Optimus Prime was, but things were different at the time. And it's a very large piece of ship from overseas, so that factors in. But still, if you missed out on it the first time, I like the toy a lot, so yeah, it's worth picking up if you can swing it. And if you don't want to wait for Hasbro's promise of a new one. It does make me think that the new one that they keep hinting about is actually a long way off if they're willing to reissue that one. So remember last week when we got to see all those fancy boxes that all of the Hasbro Asia versions of the combiners came in, we got to see the Aerial Bot version now. And it does have this retro packaging. You can pack in all the brand new versions of these toys into a very retro style box for display, but that really is all it is. You're getting a fancy box that they all come in. You're getting sticker sheets so that you can make them toy accurate alongside that. That's actually a nice plus. But if I remember correctly, it literally is similar to how the other ones were. It's the exact same 5 figures. It's just all of them are in their normal packaging. You just have this alternate thing that you can repack them into for storage or collector display, one or the other. Which is a weird thing to do, but whatever. Hasbro Asia does some weird things from time to time. Here's some weird things that we don't normally get. So, these are what apparently are our first look at Transformers Micromasters, or Micro Machines rather. Now, we did have a little bit of Micro Machines for Transformers previously. You remember the Optimus Prime transforming playset that came out that had little tracks involved? And we had little things, but here's a full run of a bunch of them. I still find it ironic that this is the toy line that Hasbro once directly tried to compete with Micromasters, because Micro Machines were dominating the market so heavily, and now we're licensing Transformers to be Micro Machines. Funny that. So yeah, we have a decent looking, if not cartoonish, Bumblebee. We have an Optimus Prime, which is very movie based. And you'll see a lot of this is actually based on the movies rather than the G1s. I can't even tell who that is. I can tell who that is offhand. But we have a Hot Rod, or a Drift rather. We have a Megatron. We've got one of the Dreads. We got a Crankcase, I assume. We've got a Blackout. We have Shatter. I love seeing more Shatter recognized. We have Transformers Bumblebee movie Starscream. There's another Optimus Prime in solid colors. We have Scourge. We have Scourge in brown. We have Wheeljack. We've got multiple versions of Bumblebee. Yeah, like it's fascinating to see. I think there's a full list here. So it's Battletrap. Yeah, I completely forgot Battletrap's name. It's Dropkick Helicopter, not Blackout. Sorry, the colors threw me off on that one. It's cool. It's cool to see them. We've been getting them here and there, but like to get them now, this has been fascinating. So no price or release date yet, but for collectors of the Micro Machines, you got some fun stuff on the way. We also have a possible new Hot Wheels assortment, which means we got a Lamborghini, an Optimus Prime, a concept Camaro, Mercedes-Benz, and a Porsche 911. All these are modern cars, meaning that this is most likely going to be movie-based again rather than G1 style. I would have to double-check these specific brands to know exactly which version of all these characters. Actually, let's just Google that right now. Porsche 911, 1989, 1994. So it's not even going to be Jazz. It's a Porsche, so it might be Jazz, but it's not the correct Jazz. This is probably produced in 2016. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be a mix of it's going to be a mix. So there is that. Okay, on November 16th, so just a little bit from now, we have an upcoming thing from A Night with Gary Chalk. It's a YouTube live stream where you'll be able to actually hang out and talk to Gary Chalk himself, which is super cool. You can also submit questions ahead of time if you want to hear Gary answer anything. He has been having his health problems, but last I checked, he's been recovering and handling treatments exceptionally well. So it's going to be great to hear from him, get a direct update. So that is on 9:30 p.m. Eastern, November 16th. So keep that one in mind. Now, we did a whole video of this because this is a huge thing. So someone actually posted the entirety of the Aligned Continuity Binder, which is basically the series Bible for the Aligned Continuity that everyone was supposed to follow and then didn't. That is currently available to see online. It is 350 pages. It is a dense book with a lot of information and a lot of design artwork that we never got to see before. It's a very cool piece of Transformer history. Speaking of Transformer history, we also have the Paul Davis collection, which includes G1 outlines, scripts, storyboards, models, all of this that are now available online thanks to our friends over the Sunbow Marvel Script Story Archive. You hear like the outline and the original draft of the episode Chaos, which apparently is very different from how it originally was. Parts missing from the Return of Optimus Prime, including 8 pages that were previously missing from the script, as well as a lot of notes and changes required by Sunbow. And a lot of miscellaneous stuff, like recaps of the 20 episodes that aired on the Bozo the Clown show in 1986. I didn't even remember that it was on Bozo the Clown at any point, which is weird to think about. So yeah, a lot of history getting posted. Very, very cool. We are saying goodbye to Dan Mora from the Transformer comics. After only 6 issues, he is no longer going to be drawing, as he's going to be focusing solely on DC comics, which is unfortunate. Because his artwork has been Very good for this brand. I do like his style for Transformers. 6 is not a very long run, unfortunately, so it's going to be sad to see. Like, that's really only like half of an arc in these books. But we'll enjoy it while we can, and they've got really good people on these teams, so I have no doubt that whoever steps in is going to do a great job. And to wrap us up, we have more vehicle Transformers coming up. Blokees showed off the official images for their rollout first wave. All IDW based, all vehicle only Transformers. Some of this is interesting because, like, the Megatron, we never saw that one. The IDW Megatron design that is based on never transformed, because that's his Lost Light design last I checked. Now, there was an official design for it created by Don Figueroa, but they never actually showed it. So we have IDW takes on Swerve, complete with his first blaster. We've got Gears, because of course, easy repaint. Megatron, Optimus Prime, Rodimus in his, like, I will get vengeance mode. 2 other versions of Optimus. We have Prowl, who does look really, really cool. Throat is giving out now because I just finished streaming, so that'll tell you how late to the game I am here. Scamper, which is a fascinating choice. Another all-time version of Rodimus. What looks like I'm going to go with Barricade. I'm going to go with Barricade on this, and we'll check the list afterwards. Hound and Swindle, which are the same mold. Mirage and Breakdown, which are very similar molds, but no, there are differences and changes between them. High density material, high precision molding. Yeah, it's a very, very cool set of toys. It's a very cool set. And if it follows the track, yeah, those Stunticons and Combaticons are probably combining at some point. Let's see, Rodimus, Scamper, Hound, Mirage, Prowl, Dragstrip, Runabout. It's Runabout. That's a fascinating little choice. So there you go, more Blokees to collect. And we do like our Blokees around here. And that is going to do it for me. I need to go rest my voice now. So thank you everyone for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.